Oh my goodness.
I believe the transcript will support that.
I'm not going to comment on what Klay said because I know where it can go from this sit-in. It's so hard to take the high road.
The entire sports world went wild when LeBron James dropped an absolute shocker. Klay Thompson is officially joining the Lakers. Fans couldn't believe it, and the internet exploded with theories, memes, and questions flying everywhere. What's really behind this jaw-dropping move? Let's get into it.
He's averaging 8 points per game on 34% of the field. And this is a guy that got, the Warriors didn't want to keep him, so he got pissed off.
This isn't just another trade story. It's a storm that's been brewing for a long time. The whispers about Klay possibly rocking the purple and gold didn't just pop up overnight. These talks have been circulating in NBA circles for years, and trust me.
So the Dallas Mavericks are now looking to trade Klay Thompson. Not happening.
This time it's way deeper than your average off-season gossip. These rumors have history, real roots that trace all the way back to Klay's free agency in the summer of 2024. That's when the iconic sharpshooter was seriously weighing his future after a tense and awkward split from the Golden State Warriors. Things between him and the Warriors weren't exactly smooth sailing.
His house is actually 5 or 10 minutes away from the practice facility in Hermosa Beach. So everything was perfect for him to finish his career here. His family's here, his nephew and niece are here. He could see them grow up for the next few years together. They can come to his games. So I thought it was the perfect situation for him to finish his career here. And it sounded like he was leaning that way. And then when we hung up the phone, and then next thing I knew, he was gonna talk to Luka and Kyrie. He's a good friend of Kyrie's, and they convinced him to come to Dallas over here.
And behind the scenes, it was clear change was coming. Here's where it gets wild. During that time, the Lakers were already making serious moves. Reports said they were ready to throw more money at Klay than the Dallas Mavericks eventually did.
And I mean, look, he averaged 20 points per game coming back off an ACL and an Achilles tear and won a title.
Let that sink in for a sec. The Lakers were offering more cash, more spotlight, and more legacy power. And still, Klay went with Dallas. Why? That's the million-dollar question.
So the Dallas Mavericks are now looking to trade Klay Thompson.
But see, it wasn't just about the bag or basketball. This connection ran deeper, way deeper. Klay's father, Klay Thompson, a former Laker legend and now a broadcaster for the team, was reportedly in his ear saying, "This is where you belong. This is where you should end your career." Can you imagine hearing that from your own dad? A man who literally wore that jersey and still reps the brand every night. That's real pressure and passion all mixed into one. And just when you think it couldn't get more intense.
His house is actually 5 or 10 minutes away from the practice facility in Hermosa Beach. So everything was perfect for him to finish.
Here comes LeBron James himself, the king, picking up the phone personally. Remember, this is the same LeBron who went head-to-head with Klay in 4 straight NBA Finals, trading buckets with the Warriors dynasty, and now he's calling up his old rival like, "Hey Klay, come to LA and let's run it together." What a twist.
I don't know how the man feels, but obviously people have feelings, and people's feelings get hurt even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
That wasn't just any casual recruitment pitch. That was LeBron showing massive respect for Klay Thompson's game. It proved how much he valued what Klay could bring to the Lakers: shooting, leadership, and championship DNA. But despite that high praise, Klay shocked everyone by choosing Dallas instead. He wanted another title run with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. And of course, those sweet financial perks of playing in a state with no income tax didn't hurt either. That decision crushed Lakers fans.
Like, this is, he got benched the other day, and then footage comes out yesterday of him picking Meg up at the airport. My boo, listen.
They couldn't believe it, especially since Klay's a California native. It would have been storybook perfect to see him rocking the purple and gold, carrying on that legacy his family helped build. I mean, come on. His boat's docked in Marina del Rey. His house is literally a few minutes from the Lakers' practice spot in Hermosa Beach. Every single thing, the location, the roots, the history, screamed Lakers. But even though he went with Dallas, that door, it never really shut. There were always quiet conversations, little signs that this chapter wasn't over yet. And now, with what's happening in Dallas, those whispers have turned into full-blown noise. The talk is back, and louder than ever. What once seemed like a harmless free agency flirt might actually be setting up for a real mid-season trade bombshell. Fast forward to the start of the 2025 to 2026 season, and the story's flipped completely. Klay's run in Dallas hasn't been smooth, not even close. The Mavericks thought he'd be their final piece, that deadly shooter to space the floor and bring veteran poise after their finals run. But things haven't clicked. His rhythm's off, the chemistry looks shaky, and the team's defense has been a mess. The Mavs are barely holding steady around the middle of the pack, and the mood in the front office is shifting fast. Word around the league is they're starting to quietly test the waters, seeing what Klay's trade value could be before that February deadline hits. This could be the opening the Lakers have been waiting for. Let's run that back for a second. The Dallas Mavericks, the same team that just signed Klay Thompson a few months ago, are already thinking about trading him. That's how rough things have gotten. The shine wore off fast, and now the front office is scrambling to figure out what went wrong. It's gotten so bad that insiders say it's basically an open secret. Nico Harrison and the Mavericks execs are actively checking what kind of return they could get for Klay before the trade deadline. When a front office starts leaking that kind of info, oh, you know the situation has completely fallen apart. But here's where things take a wild twist. From a basketball point of view, this move actually makes a ton of sense for the Lakers. Analysts are buzzing about how Klay's experience under pressure and his elite shooting could shine again in LA. He's built for the big stage, and next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the fit could be electric. The theory floating around is simple but convincing. In Dallas, Klay's stuck in a heliocentric setup where everything runs through Luka or Kyrie. He's been reduced to a catch-and-shoot role, barely touching the ball outside those designed plays. But in Los Angeles, it could be a whole different vibe. With LeBron orchestrating the offense and AD drawing double teams in the paint, Klay would finally have the space and rhythm he thrives in. Remember, in Golden State, Klay wasn't just standing in the corner waiting for passes. He was constantly moving, cutting, coming off screens, keeping defenses dizzy. That motion-heavy system brought out the best version of him. The Lakers could offer a similar flow, more movement, more touches, and a chance to get that old spark back. And social media is going crazy with trade ideas. Fans and analysts are throwing out all kinds of mock deals, names of young Lakers players, expiring contracts, you name it. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. Everyone's got a theory about how the numbers could line up under the salary cap. The rumors aren't slowing down anytime soon. Fans have officially turned into armchair GMs. And honestly, some of their trade ideas are shockingly solid. Social media is overflowing with theories, mock trades, and fantasy scenarios that actually make you stop and think. One of the hottest rumors out there, a potential multiplayer swap that could benefit both teams. The chatter usually links Klay Thompson with another Maverick, Daniel Gafford, heading to Los Angeles. Gafford's rim protection could give the Lakers front court the muscle it's been missing. In return, names like Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, or even rookie standout Dalton Neck keep popping up as possible trade pieces. Now, Lakers fans love Reeves. He's scrappy, confident, and plays with serious heart. Trading him would sting. But from Dallas's perspective, Reeves would be a dream fit. Young legs, tough defense, and playmaking ability that could inject life into the Mavs lineup. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt's defensive flexibility could give Dallas exactly what it's been searching for. Someone who can switch and lock down multiple positions when their current rotation keeps getting exposed. Of course, these proposals have sparked some major backlash. Critics are calling it ridiculous to give up young talent for a player many claim is past his prime. They're saying Klay's best days are long gone and that adding him to a Lakers squad already juggling injuries and shaky rotations might do more harm than good. But supporters of the deal aren't backing down either. Their argument, Klay's contract isn't a nightmare. It's manageable. And if he gets back into rhythm on familiar West Coast turf, surrounded by stars like LeBron and AD, he could be the missing piece that unlocks the Lakers' offense again. Let's not forget, this is Klay Thompson, a four-time NBA champion, a man who's hit legendary shots on the biggest stages. When the pressure's high, he's proven he can deliver. So the real question is, what version of Klay are we seeing in Dallas? Is this truly the decline of a once great player? Or is he just stuck in a system that doesn't play to his strengths? Maybe he's not washed. Maybe he's just misplaced. Because if it's the second option, the Lakers could pull off one of the smartest trades in years. But if it's the first, if this is who Klay really is now at 35, after two brutal injuries to his ACL and Achilles, then the Lakers might be gambling their young core on a fading star. This is the moment where we've got to hit pause and dig deeper into what's really happening in Dallas, because context changes everything. Welcome to what fans are calling the Dallas disaster, understanding what's truly going on with Klay Thompson's struggles. Klay Thompson's run with the Dallas Mavericks has been nothing short of a total disaster, and that's not an exaggeration. It's been rough. Let's be real for a second. Things have gone from promising to painful in record time. His transition into Dallas's system hasn't just been rocky, it's been a straight-up mess. The team's stuck in mediocrity, the defense keeps breaking down, and Klay looks completely out of sync. We're not talking about just a slow start or a few bad games. This has been historically bad basketball for a player of his caliber. The man who once defined consistency is now fighting to find his rhythm, and the numbers are ugly. This season, Klay's shooting around 27% from the field. 27. That's shocking when you remember who we're talking about here. This is Klay Thompson, one of the most automatic shooters the league has ever seen. The same guy who once dropped 37 points in a single quarter and hit 14 threes in one game like it was nothing. Now, every shot feels like a struggle. Every possession looks forced, and his confidence seems to be slipping. But before we pile on, let's be fair. Basketball's never just about stats. There's always more to the story. Historically, Klay's known for starting seasons cold before heating up when it matters most. And right now, the Mavericks' offensive setup isn't doing him any favors either. They've been running plays through an 18-year-old power forward, and that's throwing off the entire rhythm of the offense. Klay's not getting the kind of movement or touches that made him a legend in Golden State. It's a system clash, plain and simple. So while the numbers look brutal, it's not all on him. There's context, frustration, and a whole lot of misalignment behind those missed shots. Nobody on the Mavericks is scoring right now. Not Luka, not Kyrie, not Klay. The entire Dallas offense has completely fallen apart. This isn't just a Klay Thompson issue anymore. This is a Dallas Mavericks meltdown. The team that was supposed to be an offensive powerhouse looks flat, confused, and disconnected. At one point, the coaching staff even started bringing Klay off the bench to manage his workload and ease him into the system. But let's be honest, that move speaks volumes. Imagine telling Klay Thompson, a 5-time All-Star, a 4-time champion, and a future Hall of Famer, that he's coming off the bench. That's a massive hit to the ego. For a player with Klay's legacy and pride, that kind of adjustment isn't just tactical, it's emotional. And the bigger picture, it's not looking good. The Mavericks' 2025 to 2026 season has turned into a full-blown cautionary tale about how fast hype can crash into harsh reality. After shocking everyone with a finals run the year before, expectations were sky high. They had Luka, Kyrie, and Klay, 3 stars who were supposed to light up the league. But instead of building momentum, the team spiraled into chaos. Their offense, the thing that was supposed to carry them, has become their biggest weakness. It's inefficient, it's predictable, and it's painful to watch. Plays that should flow easily break down in seconds. Players look lost, the timing's off, and there's zero chemistry on the floor. Even Mavericks legend Dirk Nowitzki has publicly admitted it's been tough to watch, calling out how this team can't seem to knock down open shots or sustain any real energy. Now, let's talk about something that's shaping the entire conversation: Klay's contract. It's a key piece in this puzzle. Klay signed a 3-year deal worth about $50 million in a multi-team sign and trade that brought him to Dallas. That move sent Josh Green and other assets out while Dallas picked up some future draft picks. On paper, it looked like a smart, flexible setup. Veteran leadership at a manageable price. The deal was structured to help the Mavericks stay nimble under the salary cap. It's front-loaded, which means the later years are cheaper and easier to move. His salary sits in the mid-teen millions each year. So from a trade standpoint, it's actually a pretty team-friendly deal. Any squad that trades for him wouldn't be swallowing a massive contract. They'd be getting a proven vet on a short-term, low-risk arrangement. But here's the cold truth. Klay's trade value right now is all over the place. Sure, his reputation, experience, and rings still hold weight. You can't erase what he's accomplished. But the other side of the coin is hard to ignore. He's in his mid-30s, coming off major injuries, and his performance has dipped dramatically. Plus, any trade would have to make sense financially under the league's strict salary matching rules. And that leads to the big question echoing around the NBA. What went wrong? How did Klay Thompson go from being one of the most sought-after free agents in the summer of 2024 to a player the Mavericks are already trying to move in less than a year? Something clearly broke down. And it's not just about missed shots anymore. It's about fit, confidence, and maybe even identity. A huge piece of this puzzle comes down to Klay Thompson's body, plain and simple. At 35 years old, after battling back from both an ACL tear and an Achilles tear, the toll his body's taken can't be ignored. Those aren't small setbacks. Those are career-altering injuries that have ended many players' primes for good. The fact that Klay even made it back to this level is incredible, but the long-term effects are finally showing. The decline isn't just emotional, it's physical, and you can see it with your own eyes. Klay's not moving like he used to, and the numbers back that up. He's lost more than just a step. It looks like several. His lateral quickness on defense, once solid enough to hang with top guards, has noticeably dipped. He's struggling to keep up with younger, faster players. His elevation on his jump shot isn't quite there either. And that tiny drop in lift makes a huge difference when your game is built on precision shooting. And when it comes to creating his own shot, that's basically vanished. Klay was never known for flashy dribbling or breaking defenders down, but he used to find just enough space to get off those deadly jumpers. Now, defenders crowd him easier, and the separation just isn't the same. To make matters worse, he recently missed a game due to illness, which only added to his rough adjustment period. That gave more minutes to Dallas's younger, more versatile players, and some of them made the most of it. Even when Klay returned, his impact felt muted. Sure, every now and then, he flashes that vintage Klay magic, a quick catch-and-shoot three that reminds everyone of his prime. But those moments have become rare. They're like sparks in a storm, bright but fleeting. And then there's the off-court noise that's starting to creep into the picture. Social media's been buzzing with videos of Klay at airports and clips tied to his personal life. We're not going to dive into that stuff. That's his business. But the point is, once a player's struggling on the court, everything they do off it becomes magnified. Fans start connecting dots, fair or not, and suddenly people are questioning his focus and priorities. All of this, the injuries, the decline, the reduced role, and the outside distractions, has created what feels like the perfect storm. And that storm leads right back to the Lakers' rumors. Because when a player like Klay finds himself in this situation, both physically and mentally, the idea of a fresh start, especially in a place that feels like home, starts to sound real tempting. Dallas is struggling, Klay Thompson is struggling, and the Lakers are desperate for someone who can give them consistent outside shooting and championship experience. Add in Klay's California roots, and suddenly this whole situation feels like it's written in the stars. But before anyone crowns this as a perfect fit, we've got to ask, does this move actually make sense for Los Angeles? Let's break down the reality behind the LeBron factor and the Lakers' current dilemma. Because here's the truth. If Klay Thompson ends up in a Lakers jersey, it's not happening by accident. It'll be because LeBron James wants it to happen. His influence, his vision, and his power inside the Lakers organization are all major forces at play here. Nothing of this scale happens in LA without LeBron's stamp of approval. Let's look at where LeBron stands right now, because it directly affects how the Lakers are thinking about trades. Even at 40, LeBron James is still one of the most impactful figures in the entire NBA, not just because of his dominance on the court, but because of his mind for the game. He's mastered the art of balancing athletic greatness with business moves that shape entire franchises. When LeBron speaks, front offices listen. This season, though, he's been battling sciatica in his lower back, a nagging condition that sidelined him since the start of the 2025 to 2026 campaign. The good news? Reports say he's finally been cleared for contact and could return by mid-November. That means right now, LeBron's sitting back, analyzing every game, watching his team closely, and making mental notes about what they need to truly compete for another ring. And when LeBron evaluates, he doesn't just think like a player, he thinks like a general manager. He's got real pull in how the roster's built, through his agency, Clutch Sports, run by his longtime ally Rich Paul. LeBron's influence reaches deep into team decisions. This isn't conspiracy talk, it's how the modern NBA works. Superstars, especially ones with LeBron's resume, have a say in shaping their squad. Now here's where things get seriously interesting. The connection between LeBron and Klay runs deep. Their rivalry is part of basketball history. From 2015 to 2018, LeBron's Cavaliers and Klay's Warriors faced off in 4 straight finals. 4 years of epic battles that shaped the NBA storylines and defined an entire era. Those matchups were fierce, emotional, and unforgettable. But through it all, there was mutual respect. LeBron knows exactly what Klay brings to the table: discipline, spacing, shooting under pressure, and a championship mindset. And Klay, for his part, has always spoken highly of LeBron's leadership and work ethic. So now, years later, the idea of the two joining forces in LA, it's not just intriguing, it's poetic. This isn't just about filling a roster gap. It's about legacy, timing, and two battle-tested veterans possibly writing one final chapter together. In Hollywood, no less. These weren't just basketball games, they were wars for supremacy. Every time LeBron James and Klay Thompson faced off, the entire world tuned in to watch greatness collide. Their rivalry defined an era, and one unforgettable moment from that saga still echoes through NBA history. The 2016 Finals, Game 4. The Warriors were up 3-1, and after that game, Klay made a now famous comment during a post-game interview, delivered with that trademark calm, deadpan tone he's known for. It wasn't trash talk, it was more of a sly jab, but it hit hard. That little remark sparked a media frenzy, fanning the flames of the LeBron's too emotional versus the Warriors' cool confidence narrative that dominated headlines everywhere. And what happened next? Straight up basketball legend. LeBron and the Cavaliers stormed back from that 3-1 deficit, pulling off one of the most epic comebacks the league has ever seen. That series gave Cleveland its first ever championship and solidified LeBron James as one of the most clutch and dominant players to ever touch the court. The images of him celebrating after that Game 7 win, iconic. In the years that followed, 2017 and 2018, the Warriors got their revenge, taking both titles. But something interesting happened amid all that competition. Respect. Both sides came to recognize each other's greatness. Klay himself has openly praised LeBron, calling him one of the toughest players he's ever guarded. Right up there with Kevin Durant and Kobe Bryant. That's elite company. And it shows the kind of mutual admiration that's been building quietly beneath all those finals battles. Fast forward to the summer of 2024. That respect turned into a recruitment pitch. After Klay's rocky breakup with the Golden State Warriors, LeBron reportedly reached out personally, trying to bring him to Los Angeles. He didn't send a text or drop a hint through an agent. He made the call himself. Klay was said to be intrigued by the idea of teaming up with LeBron and Anthony Davis, playing for a title contender in his home state. That sounded perfect. But in the end, Klay went with Dallas, maybe chasing a different type of challenge, maybe trusting a different vision. And that's what makes this moment so fascinating. Because now, the question on everyone's mind is, if LeBron wanted Klay then, does he still want him now after how bad things have gone in Dallas? That's the million-dollar question. It all comes down to perspective. Does LeBron and the Lakers front office see Klay's slump as a temporary system mismatch or the beginning of a permanent decline? That answer could decide everything. And to really figure that out, we've got to look at what the Lakers actually need right now. Context is key. This team is built around stars, but they've struggled to find balance. They need more consistency, especially on the perimeter. Defensively, they're inconsistent, and offensively, they lack spacing when shooters go cold. What they're craving is simple: wings who can defend multiple positions, knock down threes, and play smart without needing the ball in their hands all the time. On paper, that's exactly the kind of player Klay Thompson has always been. The big question is, can he still be that guy now? Klay Thompson's resume speaks for itself. A career 41% shooter from three, a proven sniper who's hit massive shots in massive moments. He's got that rare championship DNA, the kind that can't be taught. And he knows exactly what it takes to win when the lights are brightest. The idea floating around is simple. Put Klay back in Los Angeles, away from the slow, isolation-heavy offense in Dallas. And maybe, just maybe, he'll find that old rhythm again. Surrounded by LeBron James and Anthony Davis, defenses wouldn't be able to key in on him like they do in Dallas. On paper, it looks like the perfect redemption story. But here's the harsh truth. The Lakers might have actually dodged a bullet. Back in 2024, when they offered Klay a solid deal and he chose Dallas instead, that move may have saved LA from locking themselves into a long, expensive commitment with a player now showing clear signs of decline. If they had landed him then, they'd be stuck right now, weighed down by a big contract for a struggling vet instead of staying flexible for future moves. And flexibility matters a lot. The Lakers are already dancing on the edge of the salary cap, operating in a financial pressure cooker. With big money stars like LeBron and AD, plus a few mid-tier deals, The front office doesn't have the space for flashy signings unless they send out matching contracts. That's why trade talk always circles back to names like Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, or Dalton Knecht. They're the movable pieces that make the math work under league rules. But that brings us to the real question for Lakers fans. Would you trade away Austin Reeves, a 26-year-old grinder who's improving every season, for a 35-year-old Klay Thompson who's clearly slowing down? Would you sacrifice Vanderbilt's defensive hustle for a shooter who's been inconsistent all year? Social media is split down the middle. On X, Reddit, and Instagram, fans are arguing nonstop. One side says, "No way, don't chase the past." They point to Klay's rough numbers in Dallas as proof he's not the same guy anymore, insisting LA should build around youth and energy instead of nostalgia. The other side loves the story. They see Klay as a spark plug off the bench, a shooter who could shine under less pressure and thrive off the space LeBron creates. The debate's wild. Everything from full trade proposals to sarcastic memes about washed veterans to heartfelt posts calling for one last dance between two legends. Here's my honest take, and I'll keep it straight with you. A Klay Thompson to Lakers trade right now would be a mistake. Not because Klay's finished, but because of what the Lakers would have to sacrifice to make it happen. The team's championship window with LeBron is closing fast. Every decision, every dollar, and every roster spot has to count. Moving a young, ascending player like Reeves for an aging, inconsistent Klay doesn't make sense if the goal is to maximize that window. However, and this is a big however, if Dallas becomes desperate, if they're willing to take back expiring contracts or second-round picks just to move him, then maybe it's worth the risk. Because if there's even a small chance that Klay rediscovers his touch in a new environment, surrounded by stars who know how to win, the upside could be huge. Imagine him heating up in a playoff game, hitting threes, spreading the floor, and giving the Lakers one last jolt of veteran firepower. That's the dream scenario. And don't underestimate the LeBron factor. LeBron has always admired Klay's killer instinct and that calm confidence under pressure. He knows how valuable a shooter like Klay could be next to his playmaking. And when LeBron wants something, Rob Pelinka listens. That's just how the Lakers operate when the King's on the roster. But the question remains, should they listen? Because while the idea of bringing Klay home sounds poetic and headline-worthy, basketball isn't about sentiment. It's about fit, production, and timing. Would this move truly make the Lakers better? Would it push them closer to banner number 18? Or would it just be a nostalgic reunion that looks good on paper but falls flat on the court? That's the crossroads the Lakers are facing right now. And the answer will determine if two warriors, LeBron James and Klay Thompson, end their legendary rivalry by standing side by side, chasing one last ring together in purple and gold. Only time will tell how this story plays out. But one thing's for sure, this saga isn't over. Every headline, every rumor, every whisper around the trade deadline will keep fans glued to their screens. This is one of those NBA stories that just feels bigger than basketball. And you can bet the entire world will be watching every move.